Johnson and I'm an aeromodeller and an engineer. Join me on a fascinating journey where I show you some of the techniques used in scale aeromodelling. Look closely at these seat backs. Can you see the anchor points for the seat belts? Well, today we're going to take a look at how we make those anchor points. The anchor plate itself consists of two brackets so that the left and the right shoulder strap or shoulder harness are fitted to the one bracket which is attached to the seat back. We first start by making the two long slots in a piece of litho. It's a lot easier to cut these rather delicate slots into the litho before you cut it into a small shape. So we'll drill a hole in the middle of each slot and then we'll open those out with needle files. It's quite difficult to see on the video, but the lith plate has actually got the outline of the bracket. You are allowed to use scissors to cut litho, but what you must remember is that the area to the right hand side of the blade is going to get distorted. So, presuming you are right-handed and you are using right-handed scissors, then please remember to keep the part to the left hand side of the cut. I like to use these small engineering vices. They hold parts really securely and allow you to fettle them without distorting their shape. The Archimedes drill that I'm using contains a 1mm drill bit. Really you need something a little larger for the needle file to start with, so I always have a 1.6mm drill bit kept in my pin vise handy. Let's speed things up a little bit through this section. Here I'm using the edge of a needle file to cut a slot in the bracket. Regular aluminium oxide paper cuts lithoplate quite well. And here you can see I'm just trimming around the edges and just putting radiuses on the corners. Continuing the work on the DB Sport and Scale Auster that I've been covering for the last few weeks, I'm going to move on to the seats today. Well, not the seats, we've done the seats to death. What I want to do is just finish the seats in that I want to make some seat belts. It's a standoff scale model, so I'm not going to go mad, but this is the sort of stuff that everybody should be able to do fairly easily. Okay, so let's get started. This is sort of typical of stuff that I've collected over the years for doing seat belts and things like that, usually at 1/6. We're working at 1/5 scale here, but I felt these were a little big for 1/5 anyway, 1/6 anyway, so I think we're probably okay. Normally, I would use some of this fabric that you get from sewing shops and what have you, and they, I don't know what you'd call it, it's sort of like a binding, and it comes in various widths and colours, and I usually dye them to whatever colour I need. I've used these quite successfully in a De Howland Chipmunk and also in a Hawker Hurricane. So I'm familiar with that, and if it's a scale model then that's probably where I'd start. However, for this model I think what I'm going to do is just use some bits I got from some DID dragon figures. I bought some accessories over the years whenever I see them cheap. And I bought a few harnesses, parachute harnesses and stuff like that. So what I tend to do is I have a thread unpicking tool, and I unpick the harnesses to get the bits of strap and the various little cast buckles, which are quite nice. So I don't intend to make it that accurate, but I want to give the idea that we've gone to a little bit of trouble at least. So this is my box of DID figures and stuff that I've accumulated over the years. This is not a DID figure, but it's a 1/10th jet pilot, which was quite interesting but very heavy. The DID figures even came out with things like flying jackets, and this is a DID aviator, quite nice, and it comes with all these straps and parachutes and stuff, so there's lots of goodies you can harvest off it if you don't want to use it. Here's a parachute that I think was about £5 come the day, and you can see it's got a buckle for releasing all the bits and pieces, but there's a lot of equipment you can harvest off that. There's another one, not so much to grab off that one, or I've already done it, which is quite possible. There's another harness. This sort of vest is actually what I took apart to make the bits you'll see in a minute. So various jackets and items of clothing, sort of a headset, mask, and this is a radio headset, quite nice. You can buy all sorts of things. There's a walkie-talkie of some sort, and lots of hands and figures like that. More jackets. This was quite a nice jacket, and it has a sort of "My Baby" written on the back, sort of bomber or fighter jockey, I guess. Very nice, but it doesn't actually look 6th scale when you see it up close, and it's quite bulky, but it's nice if you're into collectibles, I suppose. What else have we got? Trousers. Got lots of heads. Got a big bag of heads, another headset. Big bag of heads for the bodies, sometimes useful. One of the heads I did get, which was really nice, I'll just show you, is this one. Now I don't know whether you know what you rate to him, but he's I think he's pretty blooming brilliant. But and I started to sew up a suit into a slightly smaller size, and it was slightly successful. I don't know. But anyway, that's by the by, and that's not what we're looking at the moment. So that's my stash of goodies. So if we go back to the bits and pieces that I've scavenged off of one of those harnesses that you just saw, what I'm going to do is cut these down a little bit to make the 4 parts that I need. Now we just have to make another one. And there we have the finished seat backs, as you can see. Whether I attach these to the seats in the model to stop them smashing around inside there, I don't know, because there are metal bits at the end, so I'd rather they didn't damage these seats. Let's go and take a look in the model and see how they look. Hopefully that's given you a bit more of an insight into what it takes to make a scale model, well, a semi-scale model at least. The process is exactly the same if you use that webbing material, but you do end up having to make little lith plate buckles, very similar to the way we did with the buckles that are on the seat backs. You just need to make all of those, and it's fiddly, but it's not that difficult. Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed the video and look forward to seeing you on the next one.